Alright, you lot. It's that time of year again when gaming industry pats itself on back and hands out shiny trophies. Game Awards are live this Friday. Now, before we dive headfirst into madness, let me ask you, do these awards actually mean out? Are we celebrating gaming greatness? Or is this just a corporate circle jerk dressed up with a bit of fireworks and hype? But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe and all that bollocks. It helps the channel grow. Trust me, I'm not winning awards for this, but your support keeps me ranting. Let's get stuck in. Right, so let's talk about what these so-called award shows are really about. Game Awards, BAFTAs, whatever. Are they actually celebrating best industry has to offer? Or are they just bloated marketing events with a few trophies tossed in for good measure? Take Game Awards for example. 90% trailers, ads and world premieres. Sure, they slap some awards in between hype reels. Well, let's not kid ourselves. This isn't about honouring games. It's about selling pre-orders and padding corporate egos. Think about it. Does industry really need an award show? Games speak for themselves. If the game's great, we'll play it, we'll talk about it, and we'll remember it. We don't need Jeff Keighley in a tux to tell us what we already know. But no. Instead, we get a 3-hour spectacle that's more concerned with making sponsors happy than giving credit where it's due. And that brings me to this year's nominations, some of which are outright laughable. Let's break down these so-called best nominations, shall we? Because honestly, looking at the list for this year, I have to ask, are we even trying anymore? Take Black Ops 6. I'm sorry, but who in the right mind thought this game deserves best audio design? Guns sound like someone slamming a tin can on desk. And don't tell me, oh, the AI enhanced audio package improves experience. You shouldn't have to buy an upgrade for audio to be remotely good. Then there's innovation in accessibility. Don't get me wrong, accessibility is vital. But what has COD done that's actually innovative? Slapping a colourblind option in menu ain't exactly groundbreaking. If you're going to nominate a game for accessibility, get to something that's actually pushing boundaries. Like Last of Us Part 1's detailed accessibility suite. And best multiplayer? Ha! Servers are a joke. Matchmaking's broken. And same recycled gameplay loops don't count as innovation. How can you call it best when players are screaming on Reddit about connection issues and unbalanced gameplay? Black Ops 6 wins out. I'm calling it now. Entire system's rigged. Period. Let's be real. These awards ain't about recognising best games. They're about giving publishers a free PR boost. And guess who loses in end? Players. Because these awards don't reflect our voice. They reflect industry's agenda. Now let's talk about Elephant in the Room. Game of the Year. Why is it always the same formula? 1 or 2 indie darlings, a beloved Nintendo title, and then a bunch of massive AAA games that publishers shove down everyone's throat all year. It's recognition for truly creative genre-pushing titles. Games that take risks instead of playing it safe. And this isn't new. Remember when Last of Us Part 2 cleaned house? Sure, it were a well-made game, but it was divisive for a reason. Half the audience felt alienated by its story choices. Yet it won almost every category. What it cost it what best game? Or cause it had the loudest marketing machine behind it? It's true. These nominations are more about visibility and marketing budgets than actual quality. Smaller studios don't stand a chance unless the game somehow goes viral. So same big franchises keep winning, and players are left wondering why awards feel completely disconnected from what we actually care about. Alright, let's talk about voting process. Or as I like to call it, great gaming farce. This is where things really fall apart. You'd think people who play games, you know, us, would have real say in who wins, right? Wrong. Here's how it works. 90% of votes come from jury or influencers and media outlets. You know, same folks who are either rubbing elbows with developers at exclusive events or chasing clicks with biased reviews. And don't think for a second that under-table incentives aren't part of the equation. Oh, and players? They get a whole 10% at vote. Wow, thanks for that crumb of democracy, guys. Except it's not even real democracy. It's a glorified popularity poll blasted out on social media, where the loudest fanbase drowns out any actual merit. It's less about quality at game and more about who can spam more tweets. And let's not ignore jury itself. These people aren't exactly impartial, are they? They're human, and humans have biases, whether it's a love for a specific studio, nostalgia for a franchise, or let's be honest, relationships with publishers. If you think those shiny PR packages don't influence opinions, I got a bridge to sell you. This system don't reward best games, It rewards games with best marketing and biggest connections, and most aggressive fan bases. That's why year after year, same predictable titles clean up while innovative games barely get a nod. Take Last of Us Part 2 again. How does a game so polarising sweep every major category? Because jury, not players, decided it were important. Meanwhile, games with massive fan support but less media buzz get left in dust. It's kicker. If these awards are supposed to represent gaming community, why does community's voice matter so little? We're ones playing games. We're ones who know what's worth celebrating. Yet we're treated like a box-ticking exercise in the marketing plan. It's insulting. It's outdated. And it's high time system got a proper overhaul. Because right now, these awards don't feel like they're for us. They feel like they're for industry to congratulate itself. Right, let's wrap this up. Game awards and shows like it, they're not about us, they're about industry. Marketing, politics, spectacle, it's all one big shiny distraction. But here's the thing, we don't have to play along. Power's in our hands. Support games you love. Share titles that deserve recognition, even if they're not plastered all over billboards. Write reviews, talk about them, stream them, and celebrate developers who pour their hearts into the craft. Because at the end of the day, real reward is love and loyalty at community. Not some rigged trophy voted on by people who probably didn't even finish half at their monies. And hey, if enough for us push back, maybe one day these awards will actually represent players. Until then, let's keep calling out nonsense, celebrating what's real, most importantly, playing games that make us happy. So smash that like button, hit subscribe, and leave your comments and questions below. Tell me your favourite games, your biggest snubs, or just rant about Black Ops 6 with me. Who knows? Your comment might just get featured on channel. And I'll see you next time, you magnificent.